Hey, Zach! Hey!
What's up, man?
Good to see you in California, man.
Oh, yeah.
It's awesome.
Look at this.
So these will be our rigs
So
tonight.
that's mine?
You're going to be in, this is what they call a sit-inside kayak, and this is the one I use, which is a sit-outside. On a hot day, I might jump in for a home run, and if you're on the outside, you can just bail over.
What's up, everybody? This is Zack Hample coming to you from Pier 54 in San Francisco. This body of water behind me, that's San Francisco Bay, and AT&T Park is about half a mile in that direction. This guy over here, you can see on the shirt, the famous McCovey Cove Dave, my buddy. We've met up before, but today I'm doing something for the first time. I'm joining this guy in a kayak in McCovey Cove, outside the stadium. We're gonna try to snag home run balls. This guy has gotten so many of them in the water, it's hard to believe. We'll talk about that later. We're gonna cover this from every possible angle. I am so pumped. It's gonna be so much fun. It's freezing, it's windy. I'm gonna be in the water for batting practice, then probably head inside the stadium for the game. So you ready? Let's do it.
There's a couple ways to grab a home run. I always grab them by hand. Most people actually grab them with a net. You're probably going to be fine with the hand, but we could stick a small net in here. The net is more sure because you're covering, it's like a mitt, a wider hand, but it also can slow you down in the actual game action. If I'm chasing this kayak and I see this guy putting his net out, I hit right in the back, directly in back, when they're about to net it, and what happens is the kayak tip goes down and they whirly-bird their hands over the ball. It's considered to be fair game in our sport here.
Okay.
To do that, you cannot hit anybody with like a 90-degree angle and to put him in the water, but bumping is considered acceptable and by unofficial rules. So I have a net here for you, and in fact I'll grab it right now. Basically, baseballs float for about a minute, and so we have a minute to get it before it's going to sink to the bottom of McCovey Cove, which is about 20 feet deep. So this will allow you to reach off to the side. In case you get bumped, it's a pretty wide area, you're going to be fine.
Yeah?
I have a rudder on here, so I have to put the rudder in the water. Okay, and there we go. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to back off this. And in fact, we could put your kayak right here. Actually, it's easier. So let's go get it, and we're gonna put it right next to mine. Then we can load our gear.
So I just step into it from right
Yes, you're gonna step in right here, and I'm just gonna keep it up here.
Man, I'm pumped up for this. I'm hoping to get at least one baseball in the water. Anything more than that is a bonus. I feel like I might need some charity for this guy, because he can probably paddle laps around me, so. Go easy on me, Dave. Go easy on me.
You're going to be great, Zach. You're a natural. You are the natural. Zach, let me show you the equipment that I use here for my typical game. I have a super light paddle that I'm going to put together, and I'm going to use this super bright 1,000 lumen light when we go underneath. I put it on my head. I have two radios because we listen to the game. Once the game starts on the radios, it's real time. And I always have a second one here, so in case I jump in and swim, that I have a backup. You gotta be prepared. And I bring my food out here that I keep here, that I eat during the game, because we don't have any places to buy once you're out there. If it's a day game, I can actually get so much free food from the big boats, but tonight we're gonna be largely by ourselves. So I have food. I always bring a floating ball that will float, you know, forever.
Definitely.
Yeah,
for practice.
Exactly.
Okay.
Sometimes if I'm bored, I will throw this around the cove, and like a dog, I'll just chase it down. And I keep a life preserver back here. Sometimes I communicate with a camera on the edge of the stadium with different kind of signs. Sometimes I tell them, like, whatever, that if it's a particular player, like Joe Panic has not hit his first splash hit, he's hit 2 bouncing balls.
Okay.
I have these pre-made signs anticipating that I might get lucky. And sometimes I'll have a sign for several years, and eventually I'll use it. I caught Nate Scherholz's first splash hit, and I made him a sign in 2008. Only in 2011 did he hit it.
Oh, wow.
But I rotate the signs on my lap, and I had the Nate Scherholz sign on my lap, so as soon as I grabbed the home run, I lifted the sign up to the splash cam, and Bob Costa was doing a guest coverage for the 5th inning when the home run was hit. So Bob Costa, who's known for Olympics and many sports, he acknowledged me in the fact that I was very prepared because I had that sign already ready. And so I have a lot of fun with it. I go barefoot in McCovey Cove. What happens is my feet get really cold, but somehow I like to, as long as my midsection is okay, I'm okay. And there's a lot of cold nights in McCovey Cove. So what we're gonna do now is I'm gonna back out. My kayak is pretty tipsy, but I'm used to it. And ready to go, Zach?
I am. All right.
So you have a light on and you'll notice it once we get over there.
Okay. Oh, it's on already?
It's already on, but once we get there, you'll see.
All right. And away we go. Woohoo!
When we go underneath the piers, it's not a rush for our speed. Just take your time and just keep on going straight ahead.
So these paddles are going to drip all over me?
They're going to drop a little bit, yes. That's one of the... try not to raise it. Only raise it as high as you have to.
So we are actually going that way underneath this ancient pier, which Dave says is about 100 years old. So let's do it. Oh, I hope I don't tip over.
Occasionally a wild animal gets in here, and we've actually had skunks in here. I can't believe it.
Skunks?
Yes, on shore in shore of us. Here's the one that got me statues there.
All right, you want to see what's behind me? Check this out. Swing this thing around and look at the view of the stadium just over my shoulder. Is that awesome or what? I gotta get into position here. So how often do balls come out here?
In 19 years, we've had 160 home runs come out here. More of them came out in the splash or the PED era for the first 5 years of the park. Some years we have as few as 5 balls over 6 months make it to the water, but sometimes we break 10. We had 10 last year.
How many have you personally gotten during games in the Cove?
I have 36 McCovey Cove home runs over not quite 500 games in the Cove.
Wow. And then a bunch more on land as well, right?
Well, actually, you and other ball hawks have inspired me to try it on land. Even though I'm an old guy, I started doing it on land, and I found out that I could do it, you know, decently. And last year I got 3 home runs on land, and I have 2, you know, as you know, this year.
Solid.
But so it's a lot of fun. It's a nice change. I always wondered if I was amphibious, and now I know.
Sweet.
If you can scoop that up.
No way.
Some of the balls are going to bounce and they're going to hit the very top of the arcade wall and then hop in one bound. And those are going to be very close to the edge. Other balls will bounce off the boardwalk where cheese is. But I would say 3/4 of the ball are going to be complete splash hits.
Yeah.
It tends to be the younger players that go here, the ones that have just come up from AAA. And sometimes the young team will actually have where several young players are going for it. together. And
Oh, and it's like a challenge, like a home run derby to see who can reach the cove.
Exactly. So older players go for the cove less in batting practice, and in general, what I've seen here is the batting practices have gotten maybe 15 minutes shorter over time. I don't know if that's because coaches are saying don't overstress, but it used to be.
I think it's because every team has about 21 pitchers on the roster.
Yes.
There just aren't that many guys
That's
there.
true. That's true. So far, we've never had a giant right-handed hitter make it to the cove. It will happen for sure. Hunter Pence had hit 2 balls that bounced off the water cannons, but it's very hard for a right-handed.
Has Aaron Judge been here yet?
No.
Get ready for it.
Yes, exactly. So
yeah.
Aaron Judge is what we need.
He's done? All right, well, that is a wrap for batting practice today. And do you want to tell everybody exactly how many baseballs came out?
Nothing from nothing is nothing. We got the goose egg. We got AT&T.
AT&T is now officially a verb. It means to get nothing here at AT&T Park. How often does it happen that no home runs come out this way?
About 2 times out of 10, no balls come out, but 80% of the time we have balls up to maybe 10 BP balls. So unfortunately, this was not a lucky day.
And I'll bet that Barry Bonds back in the day just put on an absolute display, right?
A showcase. Those were the days when we had 15 balls coming in every day.
Now, you told me something interesting earlier about, I'm gonna lose my hat here, it's so windy, about the number of home runs hit overall at the stadium versus how many reach the water versus how many you actually get.
So 9% of all home runs in the park reach the water here in McCovey Cove, either bouncing or in a fly. And so far, in 15 years, I've gotten 73% of the balls that reach the water. So I get about 6% of all home runs hit at the park. About 1 in 20.
A 1 in 20 chance.
Yeah.
That is pretty awesome. Well, listen, I'm actually gonna get inside the stadium now. My consecutive game streak will be on the line. I'll be entering the stadium right before game time with 0 baseballs. Thank you so much for showing me the beauty of the cove, although I wish there had been some home runs. And listen, I have to come back and do this again sometime.
Let's
because
do it.
someday I need to snag a home run ball out of the water. So
you will. Hey, thank you, Zach.
Thank you.
Awesome.
And I will pick this up back inside the stadium.
Take the pledge to be a Budweiser good sport. Remember to drink responsibly and make a plan to make it home.
There only gets to be one of them that's featured across the board. We'll show all the groups that are in attendance. All you need to do is go to sfgiants.com/groups, and there you will find more information. Tonight is the second game of this 3-game series between the Giants and the Rockies. So let's take a look.
I was here last season just after Madison Bumgarner came back from an injury. He hurt his shoulder in a dirt bike accident. And coincidentally, I'm back this season after he's just returned from yet another injury. He was hit by a line drive in spring training, it broke a bone on his pitching hand, and he's only made a few other starts this year prior to tonight. Now, the access to the bullpens here at AT&T Park is absolutely incredible. It's one of just a few venues in Major League Baseball where the pitchers warm up right along the foul lines on the field. Really cool to get up close to Madison Bumgarner, who is truly a beast and one of the top competitors in the game. Love seeing him up close, seeing his facial expressions, seeing his footwork, seeing him work with Buster Posey. Nice to get a look at Hunter Pence as well, so it'll be interesting to see how he does tonight. Now, as for me, while my videographer was getting all those shots of Mad Bum, I worked my way down to the right field foul line right near the Rockies bullpen, just to the edge of where the protective screen ends, and I pulled out my iPhone just in time to get Trevor Story tossing me a warm-up ball. So the streak does live. Thank you. My one and only ball tonight. Not sure if I'm gonna be able to add on to it, but I am gonna head out to left field because there's 2 lefty pitchers tonight, lots of righties in the lineups, so it'd be really cool to catch a home run. Now for right now, the game is in the top of the 2nd inning, no score. Madison Bumgarner is in control tonight. Right now we're in the top of the 7th inning and he has only given up 2 hits and this game is scoreless. And right now you can see where I am. I'm in this really cool spot directly behind the center field wall. You can see the batting cage right behind me over my shoulder. And if you swing around this way a little bit, you can see that there are TVs mounted on the wall with audio. So in addition to watching the game, you can hear the broadcast. Up above, you have this net that protects people from getting drilled by home runs. If home runs land here, they roll up the net and then they come and they trickle down here. Take a look at this. There's this space where balls can actually drop down, not just during BP, but during the game too. So it's kind of an unusual, lesser known spot where you can actually snag one. Keep swinging around. You can see there's a bar in the background, there's a garden here, there's some healthy options as far as food. I'll be back here tomorrow for a day game. I'm definitely gonna eat here. And of course, up above, that beautiful view of the scoreboard. It's a final here in San Francisco. This game was scoreless right up until the bottom of the 9th inning, and then Brandon Crawford delivered. Walk-off home run, solo shot, 1-0 Giants win. There you have it. Huge celebration at home plate, his teammates mobbing him as you would expect. And as for me, this whole day felt kind of like a celebration. I did something that I'd always wanted to do. I got out into McCovey Cove in a kayak to try to catch some home run balls, and unfortunately there was no action out there on the water, but I had so much fun. Got to see some really cool stuff, paddling underneath these 100-year-old piers. It was just really interesting. Had a great time with my friend Dave, who, by the way, he deserves some love on Instagram, so check him out. McCovey Cove Dave. Show him some love, and I know that I'm going to be connecting with him to do some future videos. Now, after I wrapped it up with him in the water, I headed inside the stadium just before game time with 0 baseballs, so the pressure was on, but I did get a toss-up from Trevor Story. That was my one and only baseball of the day. So that one ball brings my lifetime total to 10,444. Not a huge numbers day, but a really fun day. I'm so glad I did it and that I could share it with you. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for one more video from San Francisco tomorrow.